If you have ever frozen in the middle of a CASC station and thought, I know this, so why is my mind blank? This video is for you. One of the biggest reasons candidates underperform in CASC is not lack of knowledge. It's what happens after they get stuck. Today, I will show you a simple pivoting technique you can use when your mind goes blank, when the station feels awkward, or when you realize you have taken the wrong direction. Hi everyone. In this video, I want to teach you one of the most useful practical CASC skills, how to recover smoothly when a station is not going well. Because in CASC, getting stuck does not automatically fail you. What often causes candidates to lose marks is not the mistake itself. It's the panic after the mistake. Pivoting means recognizing that your current approach is not working and calmly changing direction without looking flustered. In a CASC station, this could happen when you forget what to ask next. The patient gives an unexpected answer. You realize you are being too mechanical. You have focused too much on one area. You suddenly remember an important domain like risk, capacity, or rapport. A strong candidate does not collapse in that moment. What they do, they pivot. The biggest mistake in CASC is panic. When candidates panic, they often do one of the three things. They go silent, or they start asking random checklist questions, or they become more robotic and rushed. That makes the station feel unsafe and disorganized. Instead, what you need is a structured recovery line. So, here is a simple pivoting formula. Pause, acknowledge, signpost, redirect. Let me say that again. Pause, acknowledge, signpost, redirect. And this is the technique that we are going to learn today. So step 1, pause. When you get stuck, do not rush. Take a brief pause. Even 2 seconds of calm thinking feels much better to the examiner than being panicked, messy speech. A short pause does not look bad. Panic looks bad. Step 2, acknowledge. Use a line that shows you are still engaged with the patient. For example, thank you, it's helpful. I can see this has been difficult for you. That's important to know. I appreciate you sharing that. This buys you a moment while keeping the rapport alive. Step 3, to signpost. Then signpost the next direction. For example, say something like, I would like to ask a few more questions to understand this better. I would like to explore that a little further. I would also like to ask about how this has affected you. I would like to ask a few questions about your safety, if that is okay. Signposting makes you sound structured, even if internally you are recovering. That is the trick. Step 4 is to redirect. Now move to a safe clinical domain. When in doubt, pivot into one of these areas: emotion, impact, risk, patient perspective, summary, or the plan. Remember, these are your rescue zones when you are stuck. Let's look at an example. The patient says, I have been feeling very low and I just don't know what to do anymore. And you forget what to ask next. You freeze. Instead of panicking, say something like, I'm sorry to hear things have been difficult. I would like to understand this a little better. How has this been affecting you day to day? This is known as pivot. You used empathy, signposting, and redirected into impact. Now let's look at another example where you forget risk. Let's say you have spent too long exploring symptoms and suddenly you realize, I haven't asked about suicide risk. Don't panic. Don't make it awkward. Say, you have mentioned things have been feeling overwhelming recently. I would like to ask a few questions about your safety, if that is okay. Have you had any thoughts of harming yourself? This sounds natural, safe, and structured. Let's look at another example where you became too mechanical. Maybe you notice you have been asking question after question with no empathy. And this is very common to happen in CASC where you are extremely time pressured. But pivot by reconnecting emotionally. Thank you for answering all of these questions. It sounds like this has been a really difficult period for you. What has been the hardest part of all this for you? Now, this single pivot can improve the tone of the station immediately. The fourth example, when the patient is angry or not engaging. Now, remember, if the station feels tense and your planned structure is not working, pivot away from the checklist mode and into rapport. You can say something like, I can see the situation has been really frustrating for you. I want to understand your concerns properly. Could you tell me what has upset you most about what happened? Now you have pivoted into emotional understanding, and this often unlocks the station. So, the 5 safest pivot questions. If your mind goes blank, use one of these. How has this been affecting you? What has been the hardest part of this for you? How are you feeling about this at the moment? I would like to ask a few questions about your safety, if that is okay. So just to make sure I have understood, could I briefly summarize what you have told me? These 5 lines can rescue a lot of stations for you. So now let's understand why pivoting works. Pivoting works because examiners are not expecting perfection. They are looking for safety, structure, empathy, and professionalism. A candidate who calmly recovers often scores better than a candidate who panics while trying to appear perfect. That is a very important mindset shift. Here is how to practice this. During role play, ask your partner to interrupt you unexpectedly to give unusual answers. Then practice using recovery lines like, that's helpful, thank you. I would like to explore that a little more. I would also like to ask about your safety. Can I just summarize what I have heard so far? You want pivoting to become automatic. So, if you get stuck in CASC, remember, pause, acknowledge, signpost, redirect. Do not panic. Do not fill the silence with random questions. Do not assume that the station is lost. A calm recovery is often the difference between a shaky station and a passing one. If this was helpful, let me know in the comments what part of CASC you struggle with most. And if you are preparing for MRCPsych CASC as an international medical graduate, I have created a full course focused on UK communication style, examiner expectations, empathy and softening language, common IMG mistakes, demonstration stations, downloadable phrase books. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. All the best with your preparation.